Welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. You're here today with your host, Mikey, back on the Sunday wrap-up for another season. Solo today. Jake was out busy as a big Sharks fan. I watched it from home. So, yeah, coming at you. We only got 4 teams to go over, so we won't make this too long. We'll pump through it. And obviously, Sabs and Timmy are both busy out at Panthers, so you're stuck with just me. Big start to the weekend. It's great to have the footy back. Hope you guys have had fun tinkering with your sides. I know I have. First of all, before we get into the 4 games today, I'll tell you how I'm going so far. So I've locked 5 players in. I've had 5 players play. I'm on 247. I'm pretty happy at the moment. I had Tom Starling for 68, Corey Hosborough for 62, Luke Metcalf for 6, like a lot of us did. He was disappointing. And Cleary and Hines for 63 and 48. I'll get to what I think about Cleary's score. I definitely think he's owed some, but we'll wait till we talk about Penrith before you hear me on about that. But apart from that, yeah, like I went the double gun halves as a setup. I guess the negative to that is going to be next week for TLT. It'll give me less room to move, especially with Duffy being named, if he's named. I think the big thing now that we're going to look to is TLT. All the changes that, we're going to have to make. Are these cheapies going to be named? There was a lot of shocks for these 4. So I'm expecting lots of shots next week. But nonetheless, I thought there were 2 pretty good quality games of footy. I thought the, Warriors might have been, played a bit disappointing. The Raiders looked good. And that Panthers Sharks game, although there was a lot of questionable calls, I thought that was a good game to showcase to the Americans. So, all right, let's get stuck into it. So the first game of the round, we had the Raiders 30 to the Warriors 8. There was Raiders come out pretty hard and fast. There was a lot of options in this one that did well, and there was a lot of options that popular ones that didn't. Let's start with the Raiders. So Xavier Savage top scores this one with 92. Ethan Strange with 83. Couple of try assists in that one. Look, I think even Strange at 484. We spoke about him. I've spoken about him on the All Stars podcast, and we didn't see him really as an option. But I think we've Metcalf scoring pretty poorly, which we'll get to. I'm not saying to instantly trade him out, but if he continues with this low base to dish up very low scores, we're going to be looking at the other options to jump to. And now, 484 with Ethan Strange, who put up an 86 today, 83. So I like the way he was moving with the field. Keep an eye on him. One thing it's important to note is a big score round 1 is great, but he's the first score to drop out of their rolling average. So, for example, if Strange goes 20, you jump on next week, he goes 20, and then he goes 30. That 83 goes out, then all of a sudden you're not really ahead with the price making. So I'm not saying that the round's first score doesn't matter because it is points on the board, but I wouldn't jump unless you see a guy going, oh, wow, I really like the role he's got. But yet again, I think you need to look at it. Sebastian Chris with the 77, scored a double there, not really looking too much. The big one is Tamale looked impressive. He was strong. 73. Line break. He had some attacking stats in there, obviously. He had a line break. He also had some other ones. I'm just trying to have a look at it here. Sorry, having only one person makes it harder. 22 points in tackle bus. That's huge for a winger to, basically bottom dollar to have that 2 line breaks in that score. Huge. I'm very surprised to see how many teams actually still picked him. I think it was like 28% or something like that, even though it looks like he played amazing. I still think no matter what, Ricky loves Albert Hopewade. He'll be out of that side pretty quick next week. But I guess if anything, he's concreted his spot as, the next up. So if he does go out of the side next week, I guess, some people's strap might have been to have him in there for, next up mentality. He'll come back in at some point. Fair enough if you did that. I just thought it was hard for myself. I didn't buy him to personally lock in that spot, knowing that there is a plethora of potential cheapies for next week. So I didn't want to lock away a spot of someone that I believe to only play one, but he didn't do his chances, any harm. Obviously, if you got any questions, keep them coming. It's just me here, so I'll definitely answer some once we review these 4 games. Look, I'm going to have a bit of crow here. My boy, Tom Starling, if you followed my journey last year, we both helped and hindered me last year. 68. You might go, oh, Mikey, 68 with a line break. Still that good, but that's not here. He played 68 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was. It was pretty close to that. Look, I'm just going pretty rough here. But I'll tell you the exact. I'll cross-reference myself here. Yeah, he played 68 minutes. Good guess by me. 68 he played. So the important thing is he come off just before the 60 mark, and then he come on in the final 8 minutes. And he come on for Morgan Smithies, I believe. He come on in the forward rotation. So he come in for lock, which is awesome. I thought, starting with Tom Starling, you wanted Owen Paddy to, I thought he played 20-minute role, which is what happened. And you want him just playing 60 minutes. You take out those attacking stats. He still puts up a 50 at the 340K. I know you're going to say to me, can you trust Ricky? Probably not. But I just want him to do a job there for 4 to 6 weeks. And while Starling's playing good, he'll keep that role. He played great today. Could have had that try assist there if Hudson Young didn't run that play and got called the shepherd. Look, do you bring someone like him straight away next week? Obviously, you need to see how the bunch of these other cheapy hookers went. I really didn't like running a Pake, Sand, and Smith combo, which is why I spent a little bit extra on Starling. But yet again, you want to see that role maintained before maybe jumping on, because it'd be the worst thing, jumping on. The later you jump on to Starling, the more the chance increases for Ricky to shoot it down. So I guess that's the hard part with him. Matty Tomoko, 67, could have had a double. Scored a try, looked strong, 67. When I did the Raiders review, Barnesy, we were talking about Tomoko only scored like 2 or 3 tries next year. If you think that's going to increase, it'd be huge. So I think at the price, wait and see. Hudson Young with a 66. It's going to be an option yet again. He's a pod. He didn't score a try, and there is no, I don't believe that there's a line break in his score. No, there's no line break in that score for Hudson Young. So, yeah, 60 Young's a pretty solid score for him without too many attacking stats in there. And he only got 2 points in tackle pass, 4 impending offloads. 14 points in hit-ups over 8, 9 points in hit-ups. So that's not bad. And 38 tackles, which is a big one there for him. Zach Hosking. He was well, I wouldn't say popular, but I know a lot of super coaches, plays that I have, jumped on him pretty last minute. I think you'd be happy looking at it. My issue is look, in that he has some attacking stats, obviously. He's got a try assist. Did he get the line break assist with a try assist? Yeah, so he's got 20 points in there. Without that, it's 43. And the big thing that raises the alarms for me is I thought maybe without Matthew Nicholson being named, there is a big chance that he could play 80. That wasn't the case. He only played 66 minutes. Isn't bad, but you take away those attacking stats, that's 42 in 66 minutes. Like, you're going to be relying on attacking stats a lot. It's not bad. If you can keep bunching it together, he could be an option, but I'm not mad that I missed out or that I didn't start with him. We need to see this roll improve, but it just shows you if Matt or Nicholson's going to come to this side eventually, Hosking could continue with that role. Now, the big talking point, a guy that I only put in last minute because he was starting, was Corey Horsburgh. 59 minutes, 50 points in the first half. He ended up with 62 points. He was outstanding. And if you plugged him in as your second front rower at the price point, he's going to make some money. But the main thing is, it's not just the making money for me. It's having a second rower in there that I didn't have to spend too much money on. I just want 50 from him. You do that, then it kind of does, Raiders don't have a buy that we have to worry about like ASAP. So just, it kind of makes it a bit more comforting next week if I've got to pick Royce Hunt and someone like Takura just to be able to fit more guns in, you know what I mean? So he was outstanding. Let's just break him down a little bit. 34 points in tackles is the scoring. 2 tackle busts. He's got 6 impending offloads. He was offloading at will at the start, and he was just racking up the points. That if they're successful, that's another 6 points that he's owed. Total of 22 points in hit-ups, and he had -4 in errors. So awesome game. If you continue this minutes and this uptick in these stats and the roaming to offload, he's going to be a great purchase. If you missed out on him and you get some of your other mid-rangers incorrect, he's someone just off that first game performance. He's someone that I would jump to in that volatile position. I think he's going to be very handy and if he keeps this up, he's going to get to 500K plus in no time. Fisher Harris with a 57 in the minutes that he got, I thought was not bad at his price point. Is he someone that I would jump on? Probably not, but 46 minutes is the big one for that 57 from him. 35 points in tackles, 24 points total in hit up. So pretty solid, just meat and potato kind of guy. I'm just going to go over the SuperCoach relevant ones here. Mitch Barnett, he got shifted to the lock last minute, only come up with 51 minutes. I expected a little bit more minutes-wise from him. Keep a close eye on him because if he continues to do this, drop a bit of cash, he's going to become an option at some point. Next one, Aaron Clark. Oh, actually, sorry, SuperCoach relevant. Chanel Harris-Tavita. Keep an eye on him. If anyone's spot, could go if the Warriors continue to perform poorly, it's probably Metcalf first with how he performed today. 46 from Harris-Tavita. He got a try contribution, a try assist. For 46, he's priced, available at the same position, 330K. I just think a lot of us, if we don't like what we're seeing from Metcalf on a couple game sample, we're going to be looking at guys. So I think Chanel's an option. Obviously, I'd prefer an option. If you're already running a gun in your 5'8", I think you prefer an option where you can go down. So Chanel could be good. Like if Metcalf loses his position to I'm not saying he is, but if he does to Tamari Martin at some point, then maybe going down to Chanel's not a bad option. But at the same time, it's only 46. Aaron Clark got moved to the bench. I know a lot of people would have jumped off when I saw that, but I think he would have played the same minutes whether he started or not. He played 46 minutes, and the thing I liked is when Dylan Walker come onto the field, he stayed on the field, which we saw in the trial. So that's a positive sign. I wouldn't be jumping to buy him, but I think 44 points at the 390K isn't bad. I think you'll take it. He's put on some size too in the offseason. Definitely can see that they want to use him in that middle rotation. We're going to keep going down here for SuperCoach options. Wade Egan, 41. I think the attacking stats will come, but the big thing is he played 80 minutes. There's not many of these guys rolling around. I know concussion's an issue, but I guess, right now, Starling, I'd prefer him a lot more to Egan, but 80-minute hookers, when the attacking stats come, the Warriors only scored 8 points today. So when they come, if you combine, a couple of attacking stats in there, all of a sudden you've got a 60+. Tapane, 39, got Sinbind, lost some points there, lost probably another 10 minutes of play, so that score probably being 55-60. Normally start slow, but you know what I mean? This could start a little bit of a price rejection, but like I said earlier, that one game and goes off, that goes out of the rolling average. Sorry. Leah Tower, 27. I wouldn't say he's popular because he was still a pod, but I know a lot of, I'm pretty sure maybe Sav started with him and a few other guys did. 27. They weren't going his side more, made quite a few mistakes, wasn't taking many runs, but I think where the Warriors were utilizing when they score some tries is that short ball at the line. He's just such a big body. So I think with the Warriors, I'd like to watch one more game before panicking if you jumped on a few of them and getting rid of them. Next week, they play Manly and they've got 2 home games coming up. So I'd like to give another go before getting rid of them. Next one, Ko Weeks was some people might have been looking at him for 5 here and they scored 27. He was a bit disappointing. SuperCoach. Dimitri Vimalga, sorry, I'm really bad at pronunciation. 17. Which sucks, especially when a host of cheapy second rows can get named for next week. He only played the 13 minutes, which sucks. Owen Paddy, 14. He played 20 minutes, I believe. I'm assuming he played 20 minutes. 19 minutes, if you want to be exact. Yet again, don't believe he's an option. And Luke Metcalf is the big one from this. 6 points, -4 in missed goals. His 4 points was a try contribution. 9 points in tackles, 4 points minus in missed tackles, -4 in errors, and 5 points in hit-ups. That base is very scary. Look, we knew that he didn't have much base and we needed attacking stats. Look, if he dishes up an under 10 score next week against Manly, I definitely, not next week, in round 2, I'll definitely be looking to offload him in a short game sample just because he'll lose money fast. It's not like he's bottom dollar here. I'll look to other options for sure, but that was the issue why I think a lot of people started with him. He's going to halfback. He's got the goal kicking. He didn't kick any of those goals today. I don't think you slaughter him instantly. I definitely want to watch one more game, but I definitely believe he'll be an option at some point, but I personally will be looking to offload him if there's an option to jump to, especially if it's under 10. That'd be a very high break even for him to meet. And then, he does play the Roosters at home. They're coming to 2 games in New Zealand, so maybe that might make a difference. And now over to... Sorry, I went straight from the Raiders to the Warriors at the bottom here, and I've switched a little bit here and there. A couple guys. No, I've mentioned all of them. The one guy that I missed maybe was RTS. Scored 65 there. Went over for a try. Take out that try, and he's only got about 30 points there. So, look, that's the thing with RTS. He's going to score lots of tries this season on the wing. If I had him, I'd be pretty happy with the 65, and if I didn't have him, I'd just be waiting to see a little bit from the Warriors. Look, I know it's only one match, but I did say it beforehand that I did have him in my bottom 4, but I still think there'll be games where they score some points. I just need to work out and get some, cohesion with their spine. Over to my boys, the Penny Panthers and Sharks. This was a belter of a game. Look, there were some rough decisions against Penrith and Sharks, so we'll say that in the sand, draw that line in the sand. There were some poor calls, but I still think it was a great game. It was back and forward. It was tough. Although Penrith were the favourites, I know a lot of people that were heavily backing the Sharks to this one, and I like the fact that Ivan went for that defensive structure with Garner and they just get the job done. I know if you're not a Penrith supporter, you get frustrated watching them, but I'm not. I'm not frustrated at all. Isaiah Yeo top scores this one for the Panthers, 89, and yet again, he's an option yet again this year. He's just a guy that I know I'm going to want to own, but it's just so hard to own him because, as you get closer to Origin, you can't have him. And he costs premium. So, he cost you 727K, but he went over for a try today. You take out that try, and he's still, once he updates, will be over 60. 37 points in tackles here. 8 points in tackle bust is a big one. 23 points total in hit-ups and -4 in errors. Or if you include the missed tackles, it's -6 in errors. So, solid. No offloads or nothing from Yo, but yet again, they're going to look at him a lot more, especially with, Cleary there. They're going to utilize Yo with Luai not being there. I think a little like they did when Yo had to step up when Cleary wasn't there last season. Gun. Dane Laurie, so I guess 83, not an option. Obviously, he was in there because of Casey McLean, Cat 1 HIA. I'm pretty sure Penrith play on a Friday when they come back, but obviously they're off next week. He should be good when they come back. I think also chance to be back, and so is Liam Henry. So there could be some changes there. So just shows you that wing, Nathan Cleary was playing both sides. It just shows that wing's still going to be money for SuperCoach. So just shows you that I think Casey McLean will be an option. I think both of those tries with the way that Laurie scored him, I think Casey McLean could have just as much have scored him if he was on the field. Garner, 73 points. He did get given one of the try assists that I personally believe he'll lose. He was solid. I do believe once To'o is back and Casey McLean is, back on that, in the team, Garner will shift back to the bench or potentially starting instead of Sorrow. Who knows what Ivan's going to do. And that's going to happen. I think he was just there defensive setup for this game. Lindsay Smith with a 71. Well, I didn't even realize he scored so high. 45 points in tackles for Lindsay Smith, which is huge. 26 points in hit-ups, man. And he's 524K. Let me just get up, the minutes. I haven't got up the Panthers one yet. That's a pretty good score. I just didn't think he'd get the minutes. 60 minutes. Well, I know he's got a bigger motor than the other ones. If this continues, obviously, Isaiah Papali'i did come off because of that lip. Maybe that inflated his minutes because obviously Sorrow was going to front row, which is that could have. But nonetheless, keep an eye on Lindsay because that's pretty good. No attacking stats in there really. He has 2 offloads, 2 impending offloads to come through. That's huge for him at that price point. I think he could be a sneaky pod playing, when they do play the 1 bye of Origin, he could help you cover that. Dylan Edwards, Could he lose his try assist to Cleary? I think there's a chance for that one as well. He looked the goods as well. He was pretty good. To be honest, he did make a few mistakes here and there, but 70, that's not bad from SuperCoach. Nathan Cleary, 63. Let's go through Nathan Cleary stats. 1 try assist, 3 try contributions, 16 points in goals, 17 in tackles. The big one here, he had a line break assist with that try assist, obviously. I do think that, agree to disagree with me here, but I think there is definitely a chance he could be given 2 of them. I don't think that last try contribution, I think that'll stay with, with Garner. I think he could potentially get Jack Cole's and Dylan Edwards ones where it was it looked like it was just more of a, hit and pass where Cleary and both of them did cut out 2 or 3 guys. I'm not saying that he's going to get it, but I think there's a chance that he could update to 90 if he gets both of those. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I definitely think it's a chance. Nonetheless, I thought he looked pretty good. I took both Hines and Cleary. I didn't take that. I wasn't expecting much out of this first game. It's more so after this. Cleary takes on the Roosters next week. Hines draw, like he's got Cowboys, Bunnies coming up. I'm going to want to have both these guys. So instead of trying to worry about finding a way to them, pick both of them. Don't worry about the headache. And those guys will reward me for picking them, I believe anyways. Other Panthers guys that are relevant. 55 for Tago with that kick from Cleary. That was a slick try. And look, I've rated the Tago play. He's an option with Cleary there. Like Cleary is roaming and playing both sides. Wait and see for Tago. I know obviously you take out that try. He's only on about 40, but he just looks more likely with Cleary in that side. Liam Martin with 54, nearly scored a try. I thought he looked pretty aggressive. He always steps up for these big games, and being in Vegas, he really stepped up. There's a lot on these watches because there are a lot of these Panthers plays at decent prices around that, that mid 400 to 500K that once they start to hit this better draw, you could flick to them. So keep an eye on him. Papali'i for 40. He wasn't bad. He come on. Looked like he was going to play in the front row rotation, but Sorensen come on at about the 20-minute mark. Flicked out 20 to 25-minute mark. Flicked out to the front row, and he went out on the edge. He then come off because of the injury. Then he came back on for the final minutes. So he ended up playing 49 minutes. Looks like he probably would have had a 60-minute role. Before purchasing him, I would love him to be starting. I personally believe that he will come and start on at some point. I just think Ivan goes with what he knows and wants him to kind of earn it in a sense. And that's why I believe he did it. Jack Cole wasn't bad. Made a few calls where I think he would flick it. Like, I want to see Blaze in there at some point, but yet again, I don't think we'll see too many changes from the winning side apart from the guys that would have already been there in the first place. And unlucky one there for the 16% that own Casey McLean with that Cat 1 HIA. It's just lucky that if you do have him, I wouldn't, don't panic too hard. No game for Panthers next week as the second part of round 1 goes. So, and as I said, like if he then Casey McLean comes back out, gets you 70, although his break even won't be massive, really low. Once that 3 goes out, then it's, it all starts again. So I wouldn't be panicking too hard about that 3. I guess it just sucks if you had Casey McLean and Metcalf, you're only losing one of those scores. If you maybe only had one of them, I don't think it's panic stations yet, but maybe when picking your side and looping, that might come into play now as in round 0, most of us would have probably lost a pretty low score that's going to get faded out. Who knows? Someone could get a 1. You know what this game can serve. Now, over the Sharks, I think the Sharks looked pretty well, and the Sharks are going to come into a draw that I like a lot. It's why I had to have Hines. After this one, they'll be versing the Cowboys. They'll be versing the Bunnies after that without their big troops, and then they got the Doggies and the Raiders. I don't mind that. I think there's points on offer for them. Ramian with 90 looked good. All their backline are under 5% owned. Let's just bunch all them in together. Iro with a 64 with a try. Stone Street 33 did get a line break in there. I still think, there was many times where Ramian needed to, quick pass out to him, or, one of Hines or Trindle needed to just cut him out to go to Stone Street. So I still think he's going to be an option. So I wouldn't be too mad if I started with him. And Mulatalo 27, let his price come down, because we know when his price comes down, I'll be jumping on him. When he starts scoring tries, he'll be pretty huge for SuperCoach for that. So yeah, Ramian top scored with 90. Let's go to AFB. That try did bump him up from 57 to 87. But look, that's exactly what we knew. The short ball from Brayley, the AFB, went over too easy. He nearly scored a double in the end. Like, he could have that Cameron McInnes turn where he was just lurking. Man, if some of these forwards are getting an arm for him, you can use in the second row. He's scoring that try every day of the week. If it went to him, there's no way that they were stopping him. So he's definitely going to be an option. It's just, for me, I could not afford an AFB Terame build with going 3-gun fullbacks and 2-gun halves. So, but he's going to be an option, and you're definitely going to look to him. The Sharks cover 2 of the 3 big buy rounds, so you're going to need to get him by the first buy round. We've got lots of time for that, but you'll definitely be hoping your mid-rangers can build to be able to fit this guy in, because he's got a lot of tries at the Warriors last year, and I just think the Sharks side it's not going to go down. If anything, it could increase slightly. Nikora, 64, scored a try for kick. Looks pretty good. That right side there, going to that side quite a bit. I still think there's lots of tries to come. He's a super pod. I love Nikora as an option. I just think from here, we're trying to be locking down the guys that we missed that were cheap, that are going to go up in price. I think that's what it's all about. Get on the guns that we know their roles too good to miss out and their draws too good to miss out, or these cheaper guys that, we're going to need to jump on. But it is only one game, guys, so there is time for these cheaper guys. Like, there definitely is time. Brayley, 57. I'm pretty sure he didn't get given. Yeah, he didn't get given that try assist. 56 points in tackles. Not bad for the price. Not bad. Nico Hines, 48. Look, you could be worried today. He looked like the third string guy getting the ball. Both Kennedy and Trindle were getting a lot more ball. Look, there's a case that, maybe Trindle gets given the halfback position at some point, and Hines gets 5'8", then all of a sudden, whoa, that'd be huge. I'm not too worried. 48 against Penrith. He doesn't average very highly against the Panthers. Could have been a lot more here. I still think there's a lot more to offer. I think the big thing here is obviously, if he kicks goals and kicks all 4 of them, that score jumps up by 16 points, and he would be on 64. So he didn't kick the goals today. Two of the boys in the SC Experience chat believe it's to be due to a groin. So we'll see if he can take those goal kicking duties back. But look, 48 points against the Panthers. He's got some nice games coming up. It's why I couldn't go without him. So I wouldn't be too worried if you're a Hines owner. I know the role isn't amazing, but I think picking Hines, I knew that was the risk. But I still think, it's not like he's costing you 900K like some years. He's still going to be an option on that 700K price. And obviously, if Hamlin Ueli went over the line there at that end, that's probably another 20 points to Hines also. Apart from that is all for both of those games. Let's see if I got any questions, and I'm only reviewing 4. I guess the main reason I wanted to make sure I reviewed today is because after this, you won't see me on the SC Experience for a month, going away, so I won't be here. So I'll be doing good old SuperCoach overseas. Unless I'm only going to Japan, so I'll only be the 2-hour time transfer. Let's go. Killer Dow 10. What are you doing with Metcalf? So I kind of did it there. Obviously, if you've got some questions before round TLT of how I think, shoot them at me. I've got about 5 minutes here, and then I'll jump off. He was very disappointing. If you're only tuning in now, I'm not panicking. I want to watch one more game. If it's another game where I see this same base, no attacking stats, and it's under 20 points, and there is an option to replace him, I'll be looking at it, because Dewey could be an option. We've seen CHT. He could be an option. I don't think he's going to get dropped after one game, but, Tamari Martin is there. I think at some point, if the Warriors keep losing these games, he's going to come in at some point, and he's going to come in for one of them. And after that match, I thought CHT was better than what Metcalf was. The percentage, especially in that first half, they only had like 35% of the ball. So I want to see a game. Let's see how they play in New Zealand when in round 2. They do have the bye in round 5 also. So, look, I'm not too convinced. At this stage, I definitely see myself jumping off if they can't turn it around fast. They are playing Manly next week. So, yeah. Look, I've seen a guy say, yeah, it's only one game. Damn, yeah, I totally get it. I get it's only one game, but at the same time, you've got to be thinking ahead, and you can't say if he gets 10 or 20 again next week and there's a stellar option that's making money beforehand, there's no way that you're not going to consider jumping off. Like, of course you are. He's not bottom dollar. He's not a cheapie. He's coming on at 440K, and I'd be jumping off because I don't like his score. Sorry, my headset's going low here, but Jamie Calamari, sorry. Casey McLean, HIA, ouch for those 16% of owners. Yeah, it sucks. It's no good. Wait, bear with me, guys. Sorry. I just need to charge that. All right, sorry. All right. Next one. Oh, sorry. 85 in exact. Metcalf and McLean, great start. Oh, look, at least one of them should get. We've got the flex now. One of them should sub out. But I guess, if anything, if you have in that case, if you've got both of those guys, I'm pretty sure the way the flex will work is you'll get your lowest scoring player out of your 18, right? If that's the case, then don't quote me. I'm not 100% on it. But if that's the case and I'm right, you're already going to cop one of those guys are going to get subbed out. You may as well chuck, if your VC goes 90 plus, I'd consider it. Crazy praying mantis. I had a bad feeling about Metcalf. Way too many were way too optimistic about him. Yeah, look, it's going to be the big what ifs here. I think at the percentage thing, goal kicking, move to halfback, you've got to realize the reasons why you picked him in the first place. And at the same time, even if you took me back before this game, the Warriors game, I'm still going to pick him just based on the price, the other lack of options. We haven't seen the TLTs drop for the other games. So I think that's a big one too. So look, let's not panic so hard yet. Back to Jamie Camilleri. Sorry, buddy. I'm Maltese. I should be able to pronounce that. Was thinking of pairing Munster and Metcalf at 5'8", but with Munster having a bye round 2 and Metcalf so poor, what is my best next option? Don't panic too hard. He's going back to New Zealand next week. He might perform better, but the Manly side, I like the look of that Manly side. It's tough. I wouldn't not pick Munster just because you're worried about getting a low score next week. If you really wanted to have Munster, I would still pick him over that for sure. But yeah, if you wanted a guy with security and you're now worried, by having a Metcalf Munster combo, Warriors have a buy in round 5 and Melbourne have a buy in round 2. So that's both your 5'8s, potentially, 2 of them sitting out in those first 5 weeks that could lose a bit of points. Sorry, not having a guess here. My throat is killing me. There's a few options that you could go there. You could go a sneaky AJ Brimson. Could go cheap and pairing with Dewey. But I'd probably stick with the Munster if you really like him. All right, next one. Yeah, sorry, I did Jack Fraser already, or Jay Fraser. Fortunately, a towel. It didn't look like that was going right all game. Yeah, very disappointing, but it's one game. Give him another go because I really think he'll be utilised. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Yes, thanks, Keith. Shout out to Picklebet and shout out to our sponsors. I'm dying, but it's the end of the quick podcast. Anyways, stay tuned for Tuesday TLT. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm losing my voice. Hardy. Stay tuned for the TLT with Sabs, and he'll have one of Timmy, Grant, or Hads on with him. Thanks for tuning in with me, guys, and good luck for the rest of your team. Big TLT incoming. Have fun picking them. Catch you later.